Hey guys, in this video we're going to take a look at some of the best fabric mods released over the past month for the latest version of Minecraft. Quite a few of these mods are well known already, it's just that they've been ported over to this loader instead. The Trading Post is a new block which can be crafted from 3 planks, 2 sticks, and an emerald. It can be placed down in villages. When you interact with the Trading Post, it will show you all available trades in a large area, which is configurable, so you no longer need to search for and interact with each villager. Up Notifier would be great for an RPG and adventure packs. Each time you pick up an item, it shows up in the corner of your screen with a sprite. You can change how long it appears for, position of the window, and more. Trash Slot has been made available too, which adds a new slot to your inventory. You can place items in here to void them. To save space in your inventory, you can retrieve the last place items in case you make mistakes, and there's some different shortcuts to quickly trash items. Advanced Netherite adds 4 new tiers to Netherite equipment. These are Netherite Iron, Gold, Emerald, and Diamond, and they all have a colored trim to represent these materials. You can start by crafting a Netherite Iron ingot and then slowly upgrade it to Gold, Emerald, and Diamond. So each ingot is going to be quite expensive. You'll then be able to apply these to your tools in a smithing table. Each tier has its own unique properties, like piglins being passive if you're wearing Netherite Gold, or Enderman being passive with Netherite Emerald. More Axolotls brings in lots of new Axolotl variants, each of which have their own textures and ways of obtaining them. You'll be able to place a big drip leaf on an axolotl to give them armor, and this can be repaired with bone meal. When you feed the axolotl, their mouth will open, and there's also a catalog which lets you read about each variation, and can be obtained from the fisherman villager. This mod adds the Capybara from the unnamed animal mod. You'll have a good chance of finding them inside of jungle biomes, and they can spawn in groups too. If you want to tame them, then try feeding them melon slices, sugar canes, or apples. Taming is most useful as the Capybara can be equipped with 2 chests, allowing them to carry items for you. But they're not going to follow you around, so you might just want to have a lead. I mentioned tiny skeletons in a recent Forge video, but it's available for fabric too. Firstly, it introduces baby skeletons, which have a 5% chance of spawning. They use a bow for ranged combat, but also have a sword which is available for melee attacks, as they have increased movement speed. There's also baby strays, which throw snowballs instead, which deal damage. And with baby wither skeletons, they're not hostile and will flee, but have a guaranteed drop of the wither skeleton head. BCDT is an expansion to basalt, calcite, dripstone, and tuff. These are new blocks added with the Caves and Cliffs update, and this mod introduces some other designs for them, specifically bricks, tiles, and polished variants of each block, which would really open up some new designs. There'll be stairs, slabs, and wall blocks available too. Nukes adds 5 explosive blocks, which are all more powerful than regular TNT. These are all called nukes and are made from coal, iron, gold, diamond, and netherite. You'll have to craft the coal nuke first, which can be upgraded between each tier before reaching netherite, which requires at least 4 diamonds. I wouldn't say they're too destructive, as you'll want to use multiple nukes at once to do the most damage. Better Sleeping Revived starts by giving sleep recovery, which means that if you sleep through the night, you'll be granted the regeneration buff for a short duration when you wake up. If you don't sleep for 3 consecutive nights, then you'll receive debuffs like nausea, slowness, mining fatigue, weakness, and blindness, which increase in duration the longer you refuse to sleep. Amplified Nether will change the Nether so that it's now 256 blocks tall. But with it installed, you'll see that the terrain has changed quite a lot, so that it's more dramatic and matches the amplified feeling. Mountains from the Nether update trailer, which are missing from the base game, are included, and with 3D biomes, it's possible to find different biomes between the top and bottom of a mountain. A lot of you will be happy to know that a port has been created for Towers of the Wild. It adds large towers to your world, which are inspired by Zelda Breath of the Wild. At the top of each tower, you'll find a chest which contains loot, and the developers state it's compatible with every world generation mod. It's also compatible with both the Waystones and Fabric Waystones mod, which will cause one to spawn at the top of the towers, so you can use them for fast travel locations. Visual Workbench is very useful. Firstly, any items that you place inside of a crafting table will remain inside, even when the interface is closed. Ingredients that are placed inside the table will also be rendered on the block itself, which looks pretty cool. The first item included with the Farming for Blockheads mod is the market, and it can be crafted with 2 planks, 5 wood, and a red wool. When you interact with it, you can see different seeds and saplings you can buy, as well as bone meal, and it's compatible with some farming mods. It also includes the chicken nest, which can be used to collect eggs laid by chickens. There's also the feeding trough, which will automatically feed nearby animals. With the new fertilizers, you can increase crop output, the grow speed, and prevent crop trampling. With indexed, items now have a cap on how many enchantments they can receive. If you exceed the cap, then the item won't be able to be repaired. All enchantments have also been given a level of 5, with that being the maximum. There's a few new enchantments included too, like Keeping, which can give a chance for the item to remain on you after dying. The Forgery enchantment will decrease the repair cost of an item, and Slow Burn will slow down the velocity of a firework but extend the duration. Friends and Foes aims to add lots of mobs into Minecraft that either lost the mob vote or were simply forgotten about. There's the Copper Golem, which can be summoned with a copper block and lightning rod, and they'll press nearby copper buttons. The Moo Bloom spawns naturally and can be sheared to collect flowers, but the developer has a lot planned, with the eventual introduction of the Wildfire and more. Wilder World starts by spawning new flowers in flower forests, like the Bird of Paradise and Raging Violet. The Raging Violet can be brewed into a potion of rage, which gives 80% attack speed and movement speed. Phospho shoots glow in the dark and can be brewed into potions of glowing, which give the glowing effect. And the Shelf Shroom can be brewed into a potion of shelf sense and will allow you to climb blocks, a lot like a spider. In Flower Forest, you'll also find some new types of trees which give a different wood type, as well as butterflies which are passive. The mod does include a coldness system too, which you'll notice in colder biomes, and will cause you to take damage. And going deep into caves can also cause coldness. The Enchanting Infuser can be crafted from 3 crying obsidian, 2 amethyst shards, a book, and a regular enchanting table. It's an upgrade from an enchanting table and needs to be surrounded in bookshelves. Once you place an item inside it, you can manually select the enchantment you want, as well as the level. Not only does this solve the randomness and luck factor from enchanting, but it also saves you a lot of levels. Because it's more powerful, it needs to be surrounded by 30 bookshelves to reach its maximum potential. Furnace Recycle adds smelting recipes to all vanilla items that contain metal. It makes sense really, and isn't overpowered as the amount you get back from smelting is less than the amount it costs to craft the item. Some items that you'll be able to melt down are bells, anvils, buckets, cauldrons, iron bars, minecarts, and more. Another change to enchanting comes Easy Magic. It makes enchanting tables have an inventory, meaning that items are stored inside, even when the interface isn't open. The contents of the enchanting table will also be rendered in the game world. You can reroll enchantments by removing and placing the item back, so this mod sticks to the vanilla feeling. I've covered some more mods for the latest version on my channel, and make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on new releases.